Good morning, dears. Welcome to another edition of the Rocker Diaries. Have you ever heard of a man by the name of Johnny Herjolfsson? No, quite right. Very few have, but actually he would have gone down in history had he only had the courage to get out of his boat. You see, he and his crew had been on the high seas for days, tossed about by storms, and finally when the weather cleared, they looked out and they saw land. And his crew begged him to stop, but you see, it was all quite unfamiliar to him, because he's looking out and he's seeing the hills and the forests, and they were quite unlike his native land of Greenland with the mountains and the glaciers. And so it was all unfamiliar to him, so he wouldn't stop. And so he turned around and he went back. And about a week later he landed in his native land of Greenland, but what he didn't know was that he had crossed the Atlantic Ocean and he was looking at what was now Canada. Well, some years later he's telling his friend about his journey, and his friend decided to retrace his journey. And therefore, his friend Leif Erikson staked his claim as being the first European to set foot on the American continent. And you see, it could have been Johnny, but he was too afraid to get out to the boat because it was unfamiliar to him. You see, my dears, if we only had the courage to get out of the boat, we might be quite surprised where our journey will take us. Cheers.